Hello and welcome to another episode of WCPO Lounge Acts. I'm your host, Brian Neese. Today, I'm joined by Cincinnati group, The Heavy Hours. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me.
Hey, thank you for having us.
We're going to talk about how you've gotten started and how you've gotten some help from another prominent Ohio musician here in just a minute. But first, I want to get into some songs. You're recording these from home. You did this yourself. And we're going to hear some singles first. The first song we're going to hear is Desperate Days. This is The Heavy Hours for WCPO Lounge Acts.
This old road on the way back to Ohio, where we used to go. In my mind, well, I swore I'd never draw a line. You cross it every time. I said, oh, don't let it die. I said, oh, don't let it die. And it feels alright when you're here in the morning light. It gets us through the night, these desperate days. And it feels all wrong, low when the feeling's gone. Lights crossing back to the other side. I'm gonna waive my rights. You and me are getting way too close to misery. This ain't how it's supposed to be. I said, oh, I said, oh, don't let it die. And it feels alright when you're here in the morning light. It gets us through the night, these desperate days. And it feels all wrong, low when the feeling's gone. Desperate days, and it feels all wrong, low when the feeling's gone. How can we carry on these desperate days? And it feels alright when you're here in the morning light. It gets us through the night, these desperate days. Wrong, low when the feeling's gone. Well, how can we carry on? Desperate days, desperate days, desperate days, desperate days, desperate days. If you're the ocean, I'll be the stars. Shine on you wherever you are. If you're the needle, I'll be the thread, and put us back together again. there's something that I can feel. Hey, don't walk away. Don't be afraid to say you'll take me back someday. Like I gotta have faith. That's why I'm afraid that you don't walk away. My mind is racing, it never ends. And when we're back together again, we'll keep it going, just like we're playing. We're hand in hand in the promised land. Hey, don't walk away. Don't be afraid to say you'll take me back someday. Like I gotta have faith. That's why I'm afraid that you don't walk away. Pray that you don't walk away. Oh, and don't walk away. Oh, give me one more day. Hey, don't walk away. Don't be afraid to say you'll take me back someday. Like I gotta have faith. That's why I pray that you don't walk away, love. Pray that you don't walk away. Pray that you don't walk away. Don't walk away. Don't leave me here in the pouring rain. Don't walk away, baby. Oh, you got to have faith. Oh, 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 oh.
That was Don't Walk Away. And before that, you heard Desperate Days. I'm here with the Heavy Hours to chat a little bit. Gentlemen, tell me about these video recordings here. You guys did that at home? That looks like a nice little setup you've got there.
Yeah, that's just in our practice space in one of our basements. We had to spruce it up a little bit for quarantine because we've been doing more of these online things, and so we kind of turned the practice space into a little bit of a studio looking vibe.
Nice.
Pleasant to look at.
I dig it. Yeah.
A lot of trips to IKEA.
Speaking of interesting locations, the video for Desperate Days, I think, was recorded down in OTR in a pretty cool location. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it was recorded in this factory kind of near the new FC Cincinnati stadium, and it's just this old warehouse. I think it was an old shoe factory, and it was a very, very cold day, and it was dark and scary in there, and we had to make sure not to fall through the floor because the floor was breaking through in a lot of different rooms. So we had to be careful, but we're pretty happy with how it turned out, and it was a fun experience.
Cool. Well, I want to talk a little bit about what our audience is hearing today is a little bit of a stripped down version of you guys. Your single is a little bit more upbeat, and I can't really put my finger on it. I want to hear what you guys think the influences are you have, because for me, I hear a little bit of a 70s rock anthem with a little tinge of Americana in there. Am I close or am I off?
I think you're about as close as anybody's ever going to get. I mean, that's pretty good. Yeah, we are definitely influenced by the 70s, and just the pure, American roots music that came out of that time. And I think that's, whether we realize it or not, that's the kind of music that we know how to make and that we love making, and so that kind of comes out in all of our songs.
What would you say what would be some influences, some recommended if you like?
Can't help it, but we end up sounding a little bit like Kings of Leon.
Okay.
A little bit like
Tom Petty. I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna say that.
And it's again these things that we're saying, like, we're not making these claims, but those are the directions that we tend to travel toward.
I definitely hear the Tom Petty and the in terms of like the nostalgic vibe, and then the Kings of Leon vibe also pulling from that kind of similar nostalgic era, but a modern take on it.
Yeah, when we recorded our album, we drove up to New York to do it, and this kind of goes along with the '70s, in the past vibe. But I think we listened to nothing but Jim Croce and Bob Seger for like 12 hours straight. So that also has some influence on us.
That makes a lot of sense. I can hear it. Michael, real quick, introduce everybody else. Michael, you're the singer, and you're joined. Tell me who you're joined by here.
Yeah, over here, this is AJ Yorio. He's the lead guitarist, and on my right or left, however you're looking, is John Moon. He's the bassist.
So you guys have been playing together for quite a while-ish, right?
Yeah, we've been friends for a very long time, longer than we've been a band. We've kind of all met very early on in college, and towards the later end of college, and kind of when we were graduating, we all realized we loved music, and we all played different things and brought different things to the table. And next thing you know, we're up in an attic practicing for like 5 hours a night and trying to write our own songs, and just kind of happened pretty organically. We didn't like try to set out like we're going to go do this and accomplish this. It just we just started playing and having fun. And
Michael was the best man in John's wedding and my wedding.
Wow, yeah. So you guys go way back, and then you're writing these songs in an attic, and somehow you get connected with another great Ohio musician who's helped a lot of other great Ohio-based bands, Dan Orbach. How does that happen?
Yeah,
give me the story.
It's a pretty crazy, unexpected thing, and it was yeah. I still have a hard time believing that it was real myself. But
for our listeners who may not be familiar with the name, Dan Orbach is one half of the Black Keys, which is a name that most of our audience will recognize.
Yeah, so we kind of like saved up some money, not much, and we had a bunch of songs that we were kind of sitting on, and we're like, man, we want to record an album. We want to like get some songs people can hear. And so we went down to Richmond, Virginia, and recorded these songs, and it was nothing too serious. We didn't think that the world was going to hear these songs by any means. But we had these like 10 songs that we had recorded, and we kind of just like we're sending them around to people and hoping that like, it landed in the lap of somebody important maybe. And it did somehow. We got it landed in the lap of a booking agent from Nashville, and we had started to form a relationship with him, which was really, really cool. And then a few months after that happened, he gave us a call on April Fool's Day, which was very confusing. And he called me one day. I remember it, and he rings me up and he says, "Hey, what are you doing next Tuesday?" And I said, "Well, nothing." And he's like, "Cool. Well, Dan Auerbach heard your songs and wants to get lunch with you guys." And that's pretty much how it happened. He got a hold of the music and passed it around, and it ended up in Dan Auerbach's camp, and he liked what he heard and had us down to Nashville to get lunch. And after we met him, we ended up writing 10 songs together with him. So it was a wild experience that is very, very lucky to be a part of.
Yeah, anecdotally, the Heartless Bastards, who have been on WCPO Lounge Acts and previously WOXY Lounge Acts back in the day, were also kind of helped out by Dan Orbach and getting them acquainted with Fat Possum Records, which, has led on to better things. So that could be a path that you're also on. Fingers crossed. I don't want to jinx anything.
We can only hope. Yeah, he was a great guy, for how, I guess, famous he is and for how big of a reach he has in the music industry. It was a very humble dude and just a hardworking guy, and really, really, really nice, down to earth dude. It was really fun to get to write with him.
When he first reached out, I thought for sure he was gonna like file some sort of lawsuit for like stealing something of his. But
you said there's 10 songs. We just heard 2, and you've got, I think, 3 singles out now.
Yep.
So there's 7 more to come. Is that right?
Yeah, there are 7 more to come. Hopefully, when the world opens up a little bit more and we can play some more shows in front of real live human people, maybe we can release some more in 2021.
You haven't played any of these songs live yet, is that right?
Not very often. We pretty much one of the only times we've gotten to share these songs live. We got to open up for Fits in the Tantrums up in Columbus at a drive-in show, which was very fun. But still not exactly the same as being like packed into a club. It was more of a parking lot full of cars, and people would honk and flash their lights at us if they liked the song.
we played these songs. The last local show we played was at Motor.
Okay.
February of 2020 or January or something, whenever, right before everything shut down. So,
speaking of new songs, we've got 2 more songs we're going to hear. Tell me about these, because these are not songs that have been released yet. So what can you tell me about the stripped down versions our audience is going to hear, and how they compare to the unreleased studio versions that will be forthcoming?
Both of these songs were recorded up in Woodstock, New York, with a guy named Simon Felice and David Barron, which was a really, really cool experience to get to record up there. The second one you're going to hear, Wildfire, that's hopefully going to be the next single we release, and it's probably my favorite song that we got to record, and I'm really looking forward to releasing it in 2021. It's more of it's a bigger sound, it's more of like an anthemic sound that I think we were trying to go for, kind of a bigger, trying to get us out of like the small bar vibe that we've been in for the past few years. So it's a big song and a big sound. That's something we haven't really written before, and I'm really excited to kind of go in that direction.
We're going to hear Say My Name next. What can you tell me about that song as we lead into it?
Yeah, Say My Name. That one was a really fun one to write. We got to record that one up in Woodstock too, and this one actually was a co-write between us and Vance Joy, which was a really, really neat experience. And it's a little bit more of a stripped down coffee house sounding song, but again, one of the more special ones that we recorded from this album.
All right. Well, here it is. Say My Name, The Heavy Hours.
You came and you saw everything that I've been aiming for. I've been thinking this feels like the start of something more. There's nothing that you need to explain. It's all there in the way that you say my say my name. If you call me up, I'm not making other plans. If I'm home and my head is spinning, you tell me to sleep with one foot on the ground. Ooh. There's nothing that you need to explain. It's all there in the way that you say my name, and you don't need to explain. It's all there in the way that you say my name. You say my name. And I think we ought to keep this going, gotta keep this feeling alive. There ain't nothing here to stop us falling, say it's not just all in my mind. And don't you think we ought to keep this going, gotta keep this feeling alive. Oh. There's nothing that you need to explain. It's all there in the way that you say my name, and you don't need to explain. It's always in the way that you say my name. You say my name. Three, four. Wildfire, I'm on the hill again, wasting hours looking down onto spires. You're on my mind again, it's out there for you and chasing time, but I see a smile as we dream of something better. Place you and in mine, don't close your eyes. I'm dying to tell you I wanna dance with you, wildfire. I wanna burn in your flickering light. You and me just run away. You and me just run away. We're on the run again, with your eyes locked on mine. We've been burning out, and I see it now. A dream of something better. We can reignite, and we'll see for miles. I'm dying to tell you I wanna dance with you, wildfire. I wanna burn in your flickering light. You and me just run away. You and me just run away. I wanna hold you, my wildfire, and get lost in the glimmering night. You were born to run away. You and me just run away. I'll be waiting, and you can have all of my time. And you always been with me, right in the back of my mind. Been dying to tell you I wanna dance with you, wildfire. I wanna burn in your flickering light. Find a place so far away. You and me just run away. I wanna burn with you, wildfire, and feel the heat from your flickering light. You were born to run away. You and me just run away. And I wanna dance with you, wildfire. I wanna burn in your flickering light. You and me just run away. You and me just run away.
That was Wildfire by the Heavy Hours. Before that, you heard Say My Name. AJ, I love the slide guitar on Wildfire.
Thank you.
That
I
was a nice,
appreciate it.
it was a nice addition. I can't wait to hear the studio version. It's on the studio version too. Is it a slide on the studio?
Yep, that's
Yeah.
like my favorite part of that song for sure.
Cool. I'm looking forward to hearing that. If our audience wants to hear that when it's released, where should they be looking for more stuff from the Heavy Hours?
Oh, they can, we're on Spotify, Apple Music, all those things. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We usually post updates about what we're doing and where we are next and what kind of songs are coming out. So hopefully we will. Yeah, we will let you know.
Yeah. No concrete plans for 2021 yet. It sounds like you're waiting to see how things turn out, but we'll be looking around for show dates and album release information, perhaps.
Yep.
In
Hopefully that will all
2021.
be coming in 2021.
Say that again.
Hopefully that'll all be coming in 2021.
Fingers crossed that 2021 is going to end better than it started. And hopefully the heavy hours have something to do with that, releasing some new music. Excited to see what happens with you guys.
Thanks so much, Brian.
Yeah. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, my pleasure. And if you want to hear more of the heavy hours at home, you can find them on all those platforms they just talked about. If you want to hear more of WCPO Lounge Acts, you can find us on WCPO.com/Lounge Acts. You can search for us on YouTube as well to see more videos like this. The heavy hours. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.